desafiando a los dioses. Con intensidad luchemos, no te rindas aun si perdemos, más fuerte será.
What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here today, and I'm just going to be doing a What If. Basically, this is going to be the third one, and it's not going to be the final one. I'm just going to also possibly do another one. So, this is What If Issei was the reincarnation of Son Goku. Part 3. Now, we last left off, Azia died by technicality, and Issei got mad. He somewhat turned primal, and basically started to beat the crap out of everyone. Now, what else happened? Well, pretty much all he did was just shoot ki blasts and all that stuff. Tried to heal Azia, but she died. Now they gave her the bishop thing, or the bishop's the bishop piece. And not only that, pretty much Issei just went around saying that he's happy for her. He cares about her so much. He will kill anyone who tries to make a move on her. Even his friends, even his good buddies. They're perverted, but they're his good buddies. But that's all it takes for him to get mad. So he does his training and all that stuff, and since Ozzy's going to live with him nowadays, yeah, there's no problem. He's training with Azia and all that stuff. Konoko's helping out too, alongside with Kiba. And pretty much they try out a couple of combo moves. Such as, how would I say this? I really don't know, to be honest. I know there's a couple of them that there's a couple of them that could possibly work. But here's the thing. Basically, this would be called up and down, I guess, as much as it's weird saying it already. Or, I don't know, one of their combo moves will involve basically them grabbing onto Issei, and then after that, him saying power pole extend, or somewhat trying to get the pole to, like, literally go up all the way on top until they're high enough, and then once they fall down, then basically they all strike down with their most heaviest attacks. I really don't know. It's just one of the few moves. You can technically just do that and other things, but we'll get along to that later. Now, Rias, tells them that they're going to, move Azia's stuff into Issei's, technically his apartment. And not only that, the guys are kind of jealous, and he warns them that he'll take them down if they try to do anything to Azia. They both know that Issei sometimes doesn't play around. And these are one of those times. Basically, they're riding on the Nimbus to go to freaking Rias because they were doing something. And after that, for a while, Issei just takes her place, saying, all right. Look, she's not ready yet. Believe me, as much as I want her to go and somewhat learn all this stuff, her being new to everything, I think right now, once she gets a better hold of things, or I could just take her, and, there'll be two devils to help out. Rhea says, I understand your concern, and I think I'll let you do that. I want Azia to be happy and safe as well. So they do that, and they go to this sugar puff dude. Mr. Machismo right here. Mr. Arnold Fuzzinator. Yes, the Miku guy. It's the cosplayer that looks like he came out of prison. That kind of guy. Oh boy. Mr. Jawline of the Gods. Chiseled jaw. Chiseled chin. After all that, they talk about Issei gives her a little bit of a superpower, kind of like that. Just gives her enough energy to somewhat play around and do something with his fingers, basically writing his name or something like that. That's what he does. And after all that, they train. After all that, it's different things. Issei is happy that Asia's, playing around with them. She doesn't mind it one bit, which is weird. Because I guess she's nicer. It's because her niceness. And because of her niceness, that all happens. But Issei decides to play possum. And you know what happens when people play possum? People like to take care of them. And the one thing he remembered back then was basically Arias without clothing. And that's what happens. Issei's right there. And basically, he sees freaking, quote unquote, Arias, taking a nap. Let's see. And all that stuff happens. Give me a second here, people. Okay. I'm back. So, he plays possum. Arias is right there. And Issei just grabs her and basically holds her tightly with his face between the opie. And that is what I like, people. The warmth and the intensity of a hug, of an embrace like that. After that, she basically talks about, she knows what's happening. Issei just says, oh crap. She says there's nothing to worry about. And, she kind of likes it, being held that way. Although she knows that one of Issei's true intentions is to just go to the opie. She doesn't mind that much, and she welcomes it with open arms. And open bosoms. Now, after all that happens, Issei just motorboats them. He just goes... That's what he does, people. He makes sure he has his fill. He makes sure that he is experiencing pure joy at his most primal. Give me a second here. Okay. So I'm back. But either way, Issei's enjoying this. He is happy. Although Rias is a little bit of blushing, because this is the first time somebody has the balls to do this. Somebody has the guts to actually just be like, I don't know, just go be motorboarded this stuff. After all that stuff happens, he goes back, they take care. I forgot of who, but they take care of her a lot. And basically, he gets his hug. And all this stuff happens. So, after sometime after that, well, basically, they are supposed to go and talk to Rias. And when I mean they, I mean Asia and Issei. So guess what? They're gonna get their familiars. And I chosen 2 familiars that might do him good. Either way, these are only 2 familiars that I'm going to choose. I will ask you guys to pick between these 2. There will be no exceptions. I thought about picking it, but at the same time, it would be a little too easy to do that. So I'll make sure that only one familiar gets picked. And do not worry about that. So, we will say that Issei gets his familiar, and then after the whole what if, then I'll put down the thing, and then on my next video, I will do that. Alright? Ready, set, break. So, basically, they talk with, I forgot what her name is, Serapheth. Give me a second here, people. Oh boy. So, basically, how would I say this? Well, I forgot what is, Sanji and him were talking. Well, Sanji is the member of the Seraphal, I think Seraphith or Seraphal. Either way, it's one of them. And basically, he just, talked about how crappy their team, Rias and his team is, Rias and the team are. Issei got kind of a little bit angry. And, he talked about him getting 4 pawns. And I forgot what her name is. The chick with the chick with glasses basically said he got 2 queens, 2 knights, 2 rooks, a bishop, and a pawn. So the fact of the matter being, hold on, wait. Yeah, I'm right. 2 queens, 2 bishops. No, 2 queens, 2 rooks, 2 knights, a bishop, and a pawn. That's all 8 pieces. All right. So this is when he says, "Wait a minute here. How the freak did this guy get that much? What power level is he on?" Well, Issei just says, "Yeah, I'm more stronger than you. I think I can. I think I'll be able to handle someone who talks trash about us." They all do their whole thing. Basically, he grabs Asia's hand, and Issei just squeezes the ever-loving crap out of his hand. And you know what? Sanji can't, do what he did back then and just, redo the whole thing. Or, retake his, Issei's hand and just basically squish it. Because, first of all, monk training. Second of all, Goku training. And third of all, basically, you don't mess with an angry Issei. And basically, he's just smiling a wicked smile, saying, "If you ever try to touch her, I'm going to kill you." Sanji says, "I tap out. I tap. Please forgive me." Issei says, "Alright, fair enough." And, they do their whole little thing. They play tennis. Issei's very happy because he has a monocle, or possibly, binoculars. And he's looking at everything every time they smash the ball. They're basically showing, their... Basically, they're showing their lady bits and their... The opie! That's what they're showing people. So guess what? They do their whole thing. They do their whole thing, and basically, they talk about doing a dodgeball game. And Issei, goes and talks with Asia. Asia, does his whole, okay, they'll make a deal, or they'll just help out each other. And, Issei makes the freaking headbands. Not only that, he's looking at he's looking at Asia when she's stretching. I'm like, "Hey, how you doing today? Man, what a great view that is." Basically, Issei's being pushed down even harder by Koneko. And Issei is, basically, he's more flexible due to the fact that he's trained with the monks. And monks do this kind of stuff. They stretch. So, what Koneko's doing is nothing more than just something that he's used to. They do their whole, dodgeball thing. Pretty much, Issei is just catching one. And then, after that, Akeno helps, freaking Issei out. And, they do their, somebody throws the ball at them, or at Issei, to at max speeds. Issei knows where it's heading to, and he's just dodging each time. But guess what? Issei just grabs it, even though it hurts, grabbing it and holding it. And no, it hits his stomach, so don't worry. He grabs it, and he's basically telling Asia to go heal him. They do their whole thing. Issei, is being healed for a little while. And after that, basically, Sanji gets the ball thrown straight out of his nuts. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Sanji, is out. They win. Guess what? That's pretty much it. That's all I should have said. So, they go and meet the guy who rhymes. And let's see. They meet a mermaid. And after that, they see this hunking man. Basically looking like a freaking All Might mermaid. So they do their whole thing. The slimes, just see what's happening. And Issei is now at a point of dilemma. He saw two familiars that he wanted. Which one is he going to choose? Is it either A, the freaking the Monkey King, basically the kind of like the same one from freaking Naruto, or 2? I forgot what 2 was actually. Either that, or basically a wood elf. Now, if you guys don't know what wood elves are, they're basically those things from Skyrim, but they're going to be much more hotter, so that way they can at least look much more better. Now, if that's pretty much it right there, so yeah, depending on how the story will go, I will do that part. And oh boy. So, give me a second here. Alright. I'm back, people. Don't worry about it. So, basically, what I was trying to say was this. After all that stuff has happened, Issei, goes and has his dream. And here's the thing. He meets different people. One, an elderly lady who's not who doesn't look elderly, but it's still, she got the points, people. She's a 10 out of 10. That's the quality I like giving people. Being right there, holding a wedding, and there's multiple women around him, such as Akano, Kiba, Asuya, Rias, Konako, all of them getting married to him, and he's thinking, wow, this is pretty nice, I get to actually marry somebody. And this is when Drake pops out, just says, you little fool. Did you really think we were going to have this dream of yours, you little pervert? This is when Issei says, wait a minute, Dad? No, this is I am the Red Dragon Emperor. And I have come to get you out of this weird mess. And basically, his dragon hand just starts to act up. Issei, without second thought, just activates some chi, and basically, well, by technicality, almost broke the table because he just got up. And his room is kind of small, so his table's next by him. And all you hear is cracking. And Issei's like looking at his hand, and it's healing it, and basically the weird feeling is gone, but not out yet. So, after all that stuff happens, Issei, doesn't have his dream, but he's, doing his things with his bros, and all that stuff, and they all have a good time, talking, laughing. Issei says that he's going to introduce him to some ladies, and pretty much they're going to be inside this locker room where they see everything. Now, Konako sees what's happening, and this is when pretty much Issei says, nope, and basically just teleports somewhere, saying, I'm sorry guys, please forgive me, this is not what I meant to do. And basically they beat the ever-loving crap out of, basically she beats the ever-loving crap out of them. And, them all doing their perverted things. And, Issei just doing, talking to Rias, mentioning about what he did. Not only that, Asuya pinching him on his cheeks. And, Akano and Rias having the talk. Now, Issei is going to train his body. Because for some reason, that one time that he felt something, that primal rage, he's felt it before, but yet he doesn't know why. So, he basically, does his whole training, and basically trains by making another one of him. Which, no, he doesn't know the Shadow Clone Jutsu, but yet he knows how to duplicate himself at times. So these two train, and basically they're talking to each other. And both are mentioning the fact that they like Konako, Kiba, Asuya, Akano, Rias, the whole thing. And he's kind of bored of all that stuff right now. He really wants to go out with them. And pretty much, Issei is just feeling pump after being all sweaty and stuff. He just goes to the shower. And basically, how would I say this? They do their whole thing. Now, give me a second here, people, because I know something's wrong. Alright, I'm back. Basically, what I was going to say is he gets sweaty and takes a shower and all that stuff. And this is when Asia's there. But the thing is, there's no parents. There's nothing right there. So, Asia, holds him. And Issei is like embarrassed. But the fact is that his perverted nature takes control a bit. And he's grabbing the opie. Now he's doing this for quite a while, just playing around with them. Asia's okay with this. And not only that, she is, she's having the water style overflowing jutsu. And, all that stuff happens, basically. How would I say this? She's just starting to feel the wetness. And then his power pole is extending to its absolute limits. And then she just sees this, and then, she grabs it. And saying, wow, this is flowing with chi. And yes, chi is something that the body has. And also ki. So Issei's powering up. So after a while, she just grabs it, and Issei just can't take it anymore, and she's telling him to hold it, basically pull it back and push it back and pull it forth, push and pull. Basically, he's telling her to do that. Now, while this is all happening, Issei is basically just happy, and basically after all that stuff happens, he tells her to have a bit of the hot dog. Just experiment with the mouth a bit, And then after that, she's just using it. And basically, Issei just starts feeling a little bit, a little bit of the happiness part. And he's feeling happy. And happy. And happy. Until he's overjoyed. And, got a little bit of his joyness on top of her. So, after all that stuff, he tells her just to, to let him get a napkin. And basically wipes stuff off of her face because he still cares about her. She knows what she did. And she was actually happy. Why? Well, because guess what? She fell in love with him. She would do anything for him. So, he just holds her for a while they're taking a shower. And, basically they become that kind of thing. So, Issei just does his thing after that, doing everything. Then Rias comes by. Now, Rias says that she knows what he's done. And she at least says that, well, at least you know how to do stuff like this. So, she gets on top of him. And then, she just, how would I say this? Well, takes off the, her undergarments and all that stuff. And basically, how would I say this? She's grabbing it and, cleaning it up, taking care of it with her mouth and the opie. So, after all that stuff has happened, basically, she, opens up her, the flower bed, and she's, pulling back the petals. And after that, his staff and the petals, you know, meet. And it's like their first time ever doing this. So basically, she's on top of him. And basically, she just sits down. And, you know, she feels this weird this sensation. Because she likes him. She likes him. She knows she does. And basically, he's telling Issei to grab, you know, the oppai. And Issei just says, yes, I will do what you ask of me. And basically, they're taking their time and they're doing everything. And Issei's, you know, just swinging his hips. And after that, she's just jumping up and down. And then up again. Then down. Now, basically they keep going after this for quite a while. Why? Well, because she put a barrier. And, yeah, pretty much she knew this was going to happen. So she was like, okay, just got to put up the barrier for quite a while. Then Issei and her basically kept going at this. Trying different positions. You know, basically telling her to bend over. And it was pretty much, they were at it on the bed. And then after that, on the chair. Then after that, they were going with different parts and pieces of it. So yeah, pretty much that was it. You know, doing their whole thing. And that's when he just overjoyed again. This time, within Rias. And basically, she's kind of panting, all that stuff. And then this is when basically I forgot which, you know, her Rias's brother's queen comes in, and they talk for quite a while, and they get dressed. Rias is kind of still shaking, and you know, after all that stuff happens, basically he gets punched in the head a day later, and he's like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And they're like, "Don't give us that crap. You told us there were chicks. I didn't know that they were chicks. Plus megaton dudes with... You know what?" After all that, Issei, Asya, and Kiba, they are walking. And this is when Konako sees them and all that stuff. And the other, and you know, all the rest of the people plus the queen are there. And this is when Riser shows up with everyone in tow. And she says that it's no use, Riser. I already had my fill with my pawn / bishop / rook / queen. And he's like, oh, look at that. You've done a lot of things while I was gone. And this is when she's all like, wait a minute, there's a dude. And this is when she says, yeah. So you did all that with a dude. No, technically it was mostly all him, because he is my rook, he is my knight, he is my bishop, and he's also the queen as well. And he's also my pawn. Wait, what? And basically he's like, you lost it to this thing? This is when Issei says, hey, I'm not a thing. I'm Issei. And this is when Riser says, why would you do it with such a lowlife? This is when she says, because he cares about me. And the girls are all looking at him. Akino's looking at him with, you know, a little bit of the ara situation right there. Kiba is kind of embarrassed because, you know, she thought that this would never happen, but clearly she was wrong. Konako feels kind of sad because she was left out. Asya doesn't feel that much because, well, she was okay with it in a way. She didn't care as much because it's not really a big issue to her. She's already done so much with him already. I don't think that they would care at all about him, you know. How would I say this? I don't think they care if Issei did it with her, because she loves him so much she wouldn't care. She's done it with him. So, after all that stuff happened, Riser gets mad at her for a while, and basically they talked about different things, and Issei just says, "Hey, why don't you just back off a bit, buddy?" And he says, "Who are you?" "Nothing much, you know. I'm just someone who might kill you if you just try to hurt her." This is when basically, you know, he shows up, he shows the rest of the family, and basically he's all like, you know, this is it kind of sucks, because the whole fact being, you have all these chicks, and you want the queen. Well, technically you want Rias. That's evil to you. And this is when basically Issei, you know, just says, "Why don't you just get out of here, you penis breath?" And basically he's like, "Oh, I feel like I was insulted." And Issei says, "Well, as insulted as you may be, I'm glad. Because there's one thing I don't like doing, is fighting chicks. But there's sometimes exceptions to that. Like, you know, the girl who dumped me, that girl who was evil, you know, other people, and such and such." Not only that, he also shows him his, by technicality, his servant. Which is still that fallen angel chick. And basically she pops out, and basically, you know, she's holding on to him because basically she fell for him. Why would she fall for him? Simple, really. It's mostly the fact that because of Issei's powers, and the fact that he showed such strength, it kind of swayed her, because she knows that someone as strong as him would protect her. Not only that, the fact that he's kind to her. He doesn't treat her like crap as she initially thought. Not only that, she likes his good looks. So pretty much they're okay. They're A-okay, my friends. And then after that, the pawn tries to hit Issei. Issei grabs it and says, "You think that's a stick?" And basically breaks it and just says, "Power pull extend." And pretty much when he does that, it hits her so hard in the stomach, it basically pushes her backwards, hitting 10 other people, and them being pushed back. Not only that, Issei just, that's not Issei's actual powerful weapon. That is just a weapon that is used back and forth at times. It is something, it's a weapon that kind of is like Excalibur. It doesn't need a master. But Issei's true power pole will be there one day, and I will tell you when. And it probably may be on the next episode. So, they do their whole thing. You know, Rias challenges them, and Issei says, "Yes, I'm going to second that offer. I challenge all of you to fight me. This is going to be a great match." And she's all like, "Issei, I know that you're a little at times battle happy, but that doesn't mean you have to say it. Look, you can't be battle happy. Look at this. They're going to kill us." Issei says, "That's not the point right now. The point is he made fun of you. And there's one thing I do not like. It's that people make fun of my friends. You are all good people, and I care about you all. Not only that, I do not like it when people bully the weak. And yes, I have to admit, you guys aren't physically stronger than me, nor, well, by definition, you guys have magic. I have ki and chi, which means I have powers like that. Which means I can also do different things, which I'm not knowing yet. But I do know one thing. Whenever they'll hurt you, I'll be there. Whenever they'll try to, take you away from me, I'll be there as well. I love all of you guys. And I'm going to marry each and every one of you like in my dream. And this is when all of them start to blush a lot, because by technicality, the two of them have already, you know, performed devious acts. Quote unquote. You know, just doing a little bit of the quotes right there. And yeah, pretty much that's it. So, after all that is happening, basically Issei just says, Riser, you have just done the worst thing you could ever do. Not only have you mocked my master, not only have you tried to hurt her, but you try to make a fool out of me by trying to send your weakest piece to attack. I think I'm not going to let that slide. I think I'm going to now beat the ever-loving crap out of you. Be it whether you like it or not, I will enjoy beating you up. And now, basically, I'm going to end it off here. Now, I know it's a little short, but I gotta go to the store right now and help my father. But I hope you all have a good day. Like, comment, to subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout Wood here. Bye.